Hey, this is Paul Anthony from Ink Different Tattoos. Thanks for stopping by. Today, check out this interview with one of our tattoo artists, Brandon Mendes, who started out as an apprentice and is now a full-time tattoo artist in New Haven, Connecticut. Okay, so here we are with Brandon Mendes out of New Haven, our artist spotlight. Ink Different. Good to be here.
Yes, always.
I'm glad I came up for this to see you and hang out with you. I have been tremendously impressed with all the 5-star reviews with your name in them, which is just so cool. In fact, in seeing that, I was like, oh, nice. We got to get this story. We got to talk about it.
Yeah.
I remember being here many months ago and us talking about the unintended purpose, like the, purpose of a tattoo is many, but one that I think is important for an artist to think about is, how does this appointment turn into a 5-star review with your name in it, which you've been doing, which is awesome. So share with other people at Ink Different, how have you been pulling that off?
Honestly, it's not only about the tattoo, it's about the experience. It's like, you have to treat them like a friend, a family member. You gotta make sure that everything it's like you're tattooing yourself. Go about it as you're tattooing yourself. What would you want in the experience? So, try to make it seem like it's a hangout, but professional hangout where everybody's having fun. We're talking, we're chatting. It's like a girl's night out, like type of thing. That's what I try to make it seem like. Always remind them like, it's okay. You can take as many breaks as you want. And that's fine. And they always see that like you care about them, not just a piece of body to figure your art in. So. And
if you've been tattooing or in the business for a while, that is actually how it happens, yes. Right? Is that, and the tattoo can be one of your best or just a tattoo. Yeah. If the experience for the client is one that they just feel wonderful, then that is the key.
Yes.
All right. 100%. So you've obviously been creating that environment and that space for them. What kinds of things have you been tattooing, recently that have been exciting for you as an artist?
I honestly like tattooing things that are like in movie scenes. So like it's easy to like really replicate that. Like Studio Ghibli, for example, like there's movie scenes where like it's like very memorable. So they love to have that forever in their body.
Right.
I tattooed my friend Noah and this is like something I always wanted and I was so happy to do it for them. And it just looked exactly like it. And you could just see him looking in the mirror like in every angle, just like smiling ear to ear. That's amazing. So
awesome. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, that is a great experience. Was that Noah's first tattoo or
that was just second?
Second. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you first get ink on your body, you are just staring at it. You're like, wow.
Yeah.
And of course, if it makes people happy because it was done well and it's what they wanted, then they almost can't get over it for a while. It's such a great experience.
Their first tattoo for me, they were like, I love it so much. And then they really wanted to get in the second one. So
awesome. What got you into tattooing? How did you first get inspired?
So I always wanted to do something on the arts, but I wasn't sure. I would work 9 to 5 and I was like, what can I do? But I always loved to create stuff. I would always have time after I'm home and do like one session of just like 6 hours, just sitting, drawing. Because I always wanted to grow in my art and slowly building up from there. And then my friend one day was like, you need to do something more. You can't just do this all day. And she helped me figure out what I wanted to do and was like, you're becoming a tattoo artist. Like,
so you were drawing.
Yeah.
You were just drawing
like,
a lot.
These right here,
Okay.
These pieces were what I would always do at home. And she's like, you're amazing. You need to do more. Like, I see potential in you. You need to do a lot more.
That's awesome.
So I'm always thankful to her because got me to push.
So you got you a little kick in the butt.
Yeah, she's like,
that's cool. That's cool. And then you found us, right?
Yes.
And you did your apprenticeship with Ink Different.
Yes.
So that any apprenticeship, any training to do anything has ups and downs and twists and turns, right? So what was something you had to navigate through that was challenging about the apprenticeship?
For me, it was just getting used to the machine because like it's such a different like medium to use. And I wanted to be at this level, but obviously I can't because I'm just starting, and that was very frustrating. But that's a part of learning. You're just accepting like, listen, everybody started from somewhere. And that's what I always did. Like I just kept having that mentality. It's like, you're gonna get there. You need time. Stop being so impatient. You're gonna get there.
Yeah.
Keep going. Do not give up. There's many times where I was like, this is not for me, maybe, but no. That was just me getting stressed out.
That's awesome.
So yeah.
That's just such a natural human experience,
Yeah.
right? I think if anybody pursues anything over a long period of time, there's going to be those moments where you could just like parachute out, be like, no, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
And everyone's going to have those,
Yes.
especially at every, plateau, right? And before you get to the next level, you're kind of plateauing out. And then when you jump to the next level, you're like, oh, it was worth the wait. But it's not easy to do. When you started your apprenticeship with us, were we using coil machines at that time?
Yes.
We were, okay, because I hear the frustration in your voice, actually. In comparison, right? In comparison to the rotary machines today, right? Yes, because we used to when there were coil machines in regular use, we used to intentionally kind of mess them up and then give them to people so that way that they could learn how to troubleshoot them.
Yeah.
Because that's going to be real life.
Yeah.
And then when I was here over the holidays, I saw the coil machines on the Christmas tree. They were ornaments, and I was like, "Whoa! I don't really know what to think about that." So I took a picture and a video, and I sent it to Gabe, in Miami, and I was like, "What do you think?" He's like, "I don't know." I'm like, I don't know what to think." All we ever knew, 15 years ago, is now a Christmas ornament. So, where have you seen the most progress since finishing your apprenticeship? Right, because an apprenticeship gets somebody ready to start their career. Right now, you're tattooing pretty frequently. I think yesterday you said you had 5 appointments or something, right? It was a pretty big day.
Yes.
No one could ever think you finish your apprenticeship and all of a sudden you're where you want to be.
Yeah.
Right? It's just now you're ready to start. So what areas have you seen the most progress since you're now, tattooing so much?
I would say always having to like put things out, like having drawings already ready, for people to see, just having a set schedule so you can like, okay, this is what I want to do. Maybe there'll be people out there who can get these tattoos. Just try to do things that you are like 100% confident that you will like ace as a tattoo. So.
Okay. Got you. So what I hear is, you creating the flash and putting the flash out there for people to get, right? That when you look at that, you're like, I'm going to do this really well.
Yep.
Okay. And to do that with frequency and regularity, right? You regularly
because you're so familiar with the.
Right. You're familiar with yourself, how you work a machine, where you're at. It's really, really good insight, and in the beginning, it sounds like you imagined things you wanted to do, but you couldn't get the machine to do it.
Yeah.
All right. Now you have a better understanding of that. So when you're creating your flash, you're like, oh, I'm going to knock this out of the park.
Exactly.
Before
the machine was like holding me back a little bit, but
right.
Because all of these obstacles are out of the way, it made it much easier to like get things done in time.
That's a really, really good insight. To be like, I know I'm going to do this really well, so this is what I'm going to put out there into the world, and then talk about happy clients, right? Then they come in and they're like, that's what was on the flash. And you're like, yeah, exactly. You're like, oh my God, it's perfect. It's exactly what it was. It's like, yeah, that's what
sometimes
I
you're
made
like,
it that way,
Sometimes you're like, whoa, it was way better. It's way better than I thought. You know what I mean? Like the flash was like the idea. It's like, wow, it looks way better than the flash.
I think it's important, what you're highlighting is like managing expectations with clients, right? And that's something we talk about in the apprenticeship when people are, making that transition from phase 3 to phase 4 and they're a junior artist. And it's like part of it is helping people get used to managing a client's expectations, right? Because everyone is just wherever they are on their tattoo journey.
Yes.
All right. So that's always a challenge. Did you have people who were volunteered for your supervised tattoos that then came back with unreasonable expectations as soon as you became a junior artist?
Not quite.
Okay. No. So they didn't come back and they were like, I want a photorealistic back piece of, I want to see Johnny Depp from Pirates of the Caribbean. I want it perfect. I want my whole back. Brandon, go.
No, it was pretty much all me. Yeah.
Okay.
I had to figure out what I wanted to do. But you can be your own your worst mentor. So it's like that. I see that little mistake. Zoom in, zoom in, zoom in, zoom in. So sometimes you can't just be too much in yourself, but also just balance it out to the point where it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, it's funny in the arts, right? The artist is often the biggest critic of their work.
Yes.
And before I was in the tattoo industry, I was a touring musician, right? So I became very aware at some point that the crowd didn't hear that, and your client possibly didn't even notice that.
Yep.
Right? That you maybe had an intention that was a little different, but as long as they're happy,
Yep.
that's the main event. Being a self-critic is good. I hear you had to kind of give yourself a little bit of space along your journey, and be patient with yourself.
Yes, a lot of times. It's just figuring out time and just also relaxing, this is gonna be something forever, and just going with the flow, not overthinking too much.
Yeah.
When it comes to tattoos.
Yeah, because it is forever. But that's just going to be what's going to be. What are you finding is bringing in the clients these days? Or what kinds of activities?
Like you said before, 5-star reviews with my name on
Absolutely, right?
Yeah, usually it's just always a fun experience. I sometimes forget, I'm like, whoa, I'm actually working because we're having way too much fun. And yeah, we just started chatting for hours and hours and hours, and time flew by. It's like, I always have to look at my machine because there's a timer. I'm like, listen, it's been 1 hour. And we're like, oh wow, I feel like I've been with you for 5 years. Just having a blast, just taking the breaks and just chatting. And from there, they look in the mirror and they're like, wow, I'm so happy I got this. And they just, I don't always say it, I would appreciate any reviews because it helps so much. And they just write so much sometimes. I'm like,
That's
whoa,
cool.
You wrote a book on the review.
And so you're not actually asking for the reviews, or you're kind of just, you're sharing that it'd be thoughtful,
yes,
right?
It would be advice. It would
or
be really
can we
helpful.
do? Yeah, that would be cool. Okay, so you are still sharing.
It's kind of like, when YouTubers are like, please subscribe.
Right.
It helps.
Right, it does.
So you have to, because people forget.
Right. Please click, share, and subscribe.
Yeah,
right? All that
please.
kind of stuff, right? So the same thing is please leave a review. And then, obviously they're having a great experience. So
Yes.
they are. So are you finding that it's word of mouth that's developing clientele more than anything?
Yes, everything. So one person that tattooed here, she just showed up one day. We actually crossed each other in the street, and she saw that I was an artist, but I was just closing the shop. She came in the next day with all her friends and got one tattoo. And then from there, she started to get more people. So that was the person that was here yesterday. And just been telling people from the other countries to come here. So
countries?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, nice.
So that's crazy. Just one person really liked my art, and now she's trying to get everybody.
That's great. A true fan.
Yes.
That's really, really great. Cool. And then what kinds of activity on social media are you finding generates the most response?
I mainly use Instagram a lot because that's where, all my art is already. And it's easier to see an image there, and also for the videos. But people can just, always look at it over and over and over, and keep updated with my stories, where I always try to share other artists' work too. And easier to access me.
Right. And then you have done some skits, right? I think I saw a skit. I was just scrolling one day, and there was, what was that all about?
So my friend, he always likes to dress up as his character. So he will actually want to get that character as well tattooed in his body. And I was like, what would be funny?
What's the character?
Nanami Kenzo.
Okay.
He always wears a suit. He's very classy. And I just wanted him to be a bit brute when getting a tattoo. He's like, I'm not paying for this. I am getting it because I can. So we just went with it. I didn't even think anything about it. I just went with the flow, and it came out so good.
That's
really
cool.
Funny.
I saw it. It grabbed my attention. It was super cool. Very, very cool. And then you have was it a channel or a broadcast as well, right? On Instagram?
I have a channel, but I don't use it often. I'm trying to break the habit so I can post more flashy so people can see.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just a channel where I can put art and people can see it, but they can't talk in it.
Does it, do you find that it generates any kind of response or tattoo clients?
Here and there,
okay.
It does help. Instagram is a little bit weird sometimes. It doesn't push everything to everybody. But
right.
Using every tool in Instagram can really help.
Okay. Well, it's a great platform. It's a visual platform. It makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
Right? What are you thinking as far as stretching your artistic, abilities, right? Like as you start to have more and more time and you're always 10,000 tattoos from being the tattoo artist you want to be, right? But if you were to fast forward another 10,000 tattoos, what kind of areas do you want to develop for yourself?
I really want to start doing what the portraits that I used to do. Like I would really want to implement that the exact way I do it on paper, on skin. So I really want to get to that level where I can do that.
Where you can replicate portraits the way you want.
That's what I truly like doing a lot.
Okay. And create like not photorealism, but just, you would draw someone's portrait and then from there implement it.
Yeah, like probably make them into a character they like.
Okay.
And also implementing characters, the original character around them.
Right.
So it feels very like, original to them.
Yeah. Cool. With people who are looking to become tattoo artists, right? Aspiring tattoo artists, what kind of advice would you give them on their, journey as you've been on that journey and now you've accomplished it, right? You've achieved it. If somebody's just starting out, what kinds of things should they be thinking about?
They should really be thinking about what they really like to draw, because that's what's really going to be that motivation. Because not every day you can just sit down like, let me draw something. It takes a lot of energy. So something that's always going to fuel you up, always have like a time, always just have like some day where you can like just 30 minutes, because that's will really help you like feel confident about it yourself.
So I hear drawing every day.
Consistently.
Right.
Yes.
And then something that fills you up, makes you feel good.
Yes.
Right. And find like what that is for you.
Yes. And don't compare yourself to others. That's a key point, because people would always compare each other to like other people, like amazing artists. Like, whoa, listen, like you're starting out. Remember, this is your path, not other people's path.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
Just learning what you like to use needle-wise, like what do you want your art to look like in the future? So.
And then to strategically make sure that that's what you put out, so that when people come back and get what they were looking at, everyone's very happy.
Exactly.
Everyone's really excited.
Exactly. When designing things too, when you get to that stage, like do things that you're ready, it's close to your true style. So you can easily transition yourself to there, because you're already using the needles, you're already using like the techniques that you already learned. And then once you level, if you're very comfortable, you can start moving into what you really want to do.
Right. Yeah, I think that's really great advice. I don't know if we talk about that enough, or if people talk about that enough, right? It's really almost just setting everyone up to win.
Yeah.
So that the artist has a great experience and the client is coming in, and getting something that their expectations, I know I've said expectations like 100 times, but it's important, right? Because when people get upset about anything, it's usually mismatched expectations, right? So you're setting them up. What they're looking at, they're like, wow, that's inspiring. You already know you can do that really well. So then they get something and then they feel wonderful.
Exactly.
And that's great for the client. That's really caring about the client and caring about yourself at the same time, which creates a win-win.
Yes.
Any sage advice at all for anybody who's having trouble building clientele?
So that one's a really tough one, because you just gotta have that one friend. You start with that one friend who's like I wouldn't say do not care what they're getting, but they're totally down for anything. If you find that one person, just always try to book with them. Try to have an appointment with them as much as you can. Anything you can do, because it's really rare finding someone like that will get a tattoo that you haven't done anything on yet. So once you get that one person,
I follow what you're saying. That's really cool. Is if you have somebody who's like such a fan and such an advocate, they're like, I don't care what you tattoo on me. I just want to get a tattoo today. Then you can choose something that right? You're going to kick butt at. Like I'm going to just knock this out of the park.
Exactly.
And then that's going to be a portfolio piece that then is going to go, out to the world. That's a really great idea.
It'll be really horrible if you, tattooed something and then obviously you don't like it.
Right.
Like it's just the art style itself is not something you want to have in your portfolio.
Yeah.
So,
So if you find somebody who's like, yes, you can tattoo anything on me that you want. I just want to get a tattoo today and I love hanging out with you.
yes.
Hold that person
100%.
close, and bring them in
Yes.
every week, and
Yes.
just cover their body
Yes.
with, portfolio piece after portfolio piece after portfolio piece. That's cool. That's cool. I guess that would be something to look for. I don't know if we all have those people in our life, but
Yeah.
if you get one of those, hold on
Lucky
to
winner.
it, And then what do you do to really make it special for people while they're getting tattooed?
I like to say that I have gentle hands. I try to be very soft, not always ask is it okay if I can put my arm here? Just be very considerate of everything I'm doing. I try to always tell them what I'm doing next, so they aren't in a panic mode. You know what I mean? He's like, what are they doing? It's always scary to not know what's happening. So just always tell them step by step what I'm doing, and it just helps them be more vocal if they need to take a break or not.
Right.
And just if sometimes people don't want to talk, and that's totally fine. We're gonna have a quiet session.
Okay.
I always ask them, do you want to listen to music? What kind of music you like? Just make it seem like it's their home too. So
awesome. That's great advice. All right, Brandon Mendes, the man in New Haven,
Nice.
who followed the apprenticeship, achieved, success,
Yes.
and had 5 tattoo appointments yesterday with a bunch of 5-star reviews with his name in it. Thank you for showing that it's possible.
You're so
Thank
you.
You're showing and making everyone understand that it's possible. So
Yes.
thank you for being here.
Thank you, Paul.
Happy tattooing.
Peace.
Good stuff. Good stuff, man.
Remember, if you like what we do, follow, share, and subscribe.
And if you really like what we're doing, please give us a 5-star review. It really helps.